Hello and welcome to Emanuel Wilfer Workshop, especially for string instruments. My name is Wilfer and I'm the fourth generation in the family for about string instruments making. Our mainly focus is about the double basses, but we make also the cellos and the violins. Yes, I'm 30 years by myself into the workshop. The workshop is founded in 1905, and when I start to learn this violin making, then my grandfather was the owner of the workshop. During these years, my father and my uncle, Werner and Rudolf Wilfer, are the owners, and I stay in a long history of violin making in the family. It is not easy to growing up in a violin maker family. So when I graduate about a violin letter, but I was a learning person also. My word was accepted when I have my master degree. When you grow up in a family workshop and you have with your father and your uncle and with your grandfather, and all have the master degree, you have nothing to say before you have also the master degree. It is funny and it's a really nice thing, but this teach me a lot of things. This teach me a lot of ideas, what the family give me, what I have to have looked about my focus about violin making. Most important is to make a real work with a real material and a real traditional working. Very, very important is in our workshop the huge wood stock. The wood stock have to be natural dry about a long time. It's really important to have this situation. The wood have to be stand outside, really in the cold weather, in a hot weather, in a dry weather, in a really wet weather. When the wood come to these periods without any trouble, then it is pretty right to produce instruments for the Emanuel Wilfer Workshop. In all these years, it was for me really important, and it was a really wonderful situation to have a really good contact to all the musicians all over the world. Is it from Japanese or from South America, from Eastern Europe or from North America? All these musicians with her special wishes was for me the most important what I have during this working time or during this workshop time. It is so important for me to have the challenges. So the musician give me questions and I have to give answers. Answers in my mind, answers in the word, and especially answers in the work. Most wonderful situation for me every time is when you give an instrument to a musician and he start to play, and after 1 minute his eyes looking like a sunshine. Looks like he thinks he see a star in the dark night, and so I don't need any answers more. So that is why I live. That is why I work, and that is what I give back to my family history. That is the result, the respect for the generation before, and yeah, that is my most important thing to do. And a lot of people ask me about what is behind you, what comes behind you, and that is also a very nice question. And I look about my children. So I have 3 children. 2 from these 3 children are very musical, talented. When I look about my 2 older children, when he do something when he was young, he do something very nice, very careful, and this is also the way to do in her main life. My youngest one, it's a very interesting boy. So he grew up in the workshop, I can say, likes me. I'm growing also up in the workshop, and very nice is when some musician come to me and we discuss about the instruments. I have nothing to say. I say we talk. And my son, the name would like to be Lucas, or is Lucas, the son go out in the storage or in the stock and pick up some different tell pieces, tuning machines, pack, something like this, and show this to the musician. So when this came the same situation like the 2 older children, so I can say definitely my 3rd children, Lucas Wilfer, I think he would like to going into my footstep. I think it, I wish it, I hope it. Very important for me personally is to have contacts to the musician, to the orchestras, and also to some luthiers, you can say also dealers in some areas. The main important is for me to find person and to have person, and so I'm also lucky to have this, who make a good service in the city or in the town or in the country. So for me, I can travel sometimes, but not every time for each instrument. So in this case, it is really important to have somebody who can work, who knows the musician, and he can make some service of the instrument. So I would like to have friends or business partners who can handle also the service. Is really careful for the also for the orchestras and the musician, and I like it. I like to have personally. I like to have some instruments continue back to my shop, just looking over the instruments, and then I feel me better. So just looking on the instruments, is everything okay? Wonderful. That makes me happy, and you can say to 95%, 98%, nothing is to do, totally nothing. But it gives a good feeling for the musician and gives a good feeling for me personally. We stand every time behind the instrument. So in which place you are staying in the world, you can contact our workshop and we can help you right away about some contacts in some countries, or what's going on, whatever a problem is coming. We are every time behind our instruments. So also the instruments for a long time go out from our workshop. When you give something to do, something to say, please come back. We are here for our instrument every time. And that's now over 100 years.